Hi my loves and welcome back. It's been a little while. I have had a fairly busy July. It was my birthday and then we went to Greece for a couple of weeks, which is why I'm looking slightly less pale than I was. There will be some pictures on my Instagram at some point. I think we need to get some film developed. Then we were quarantining at home obviously for about a week. All of our tests came back negative and I was just trying to get things sorted again. Baby's been busy doing a lot of developing, so it has felt very busy. Anyway, I'm coming at you today with a big birthday book haul. I don't think anyone bought me any books this year. This is just gifts from me to me. I thought I would treat myself to some books around my birthday. I think I did the same thing last year. And I also had some books bought for me last year, but yes, it's just something I like to do. Maybe it's a new tradition. I like to buy myself some books around this time of year. This is quite a random selection of books, to be honest. A lot of them are just books that have been like niggling in my brain that I really want to have on my shelves and maybe start reading. I went full force with a selection of editions, which you will see in a second. So we've got lots to get through. I also bought some books that I've read on my Kindle, some of which I've already reviewed for you or listened to as well, some books that I've listened to. I'll show you them, even though you've seen me talk about them before, but just, you know, for the covers. Where to start, friends? Where to start? So let's start with apparently my new favourite author, you would think from the amount of books I bought. I read Petito Street Station on my Kindle by China Mieville and I really liked it, and I know I definitely want to read more by him. And then I saw these nice editions of, I don't think they're all of his books, but I think I've got all of his books that were published in these editions, I think. And I was like, do you know what, I'm just going to buy the full selection because I think they'll look nice on my shelves. I'm sure I'll get round to reading all of them, and why not? Just go a little crazy. Had to buy them from various places, so some of them are a little bit bashed up, and some of them are like new. So if you don't know, China Mieville is described as part of the new weird movement, same as Jeff Vandermeer. They're very different authors, but I can see sort of where the weirdness comes in. We'll talk about it a little bit more in my review of Petito Street Station, and also that book video is coming up sometime early August. I decided to combine my June and July just so I could finish a couple of books that I was reading, because otherwise it would have been a very short video for you. Anyway, so on to these books. So what editions are they? They're from Pan Macmillan, and I don't know when they were published. This edition published 2011, so I think these must be all of his books up to 2011, I would imagine, and then I don't know about ones after that. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm rambling away because it's been a while since I filmed a video. Here we go. King Rat is the first one I'm going to show you. I think I've heard a few of you talk about this one because when I said I was reading Petito Street Station, a few of you messaged me with your favourite Mieville books. I also don't know if I'm saying Mieville right. I'm going to read the blurbs from them all because otherwise, what is the point? Okay, so apparently this is his debut novel. Something is stirring in London's dark, stamping out its territory in brick dust and blood. Something has murdered Saul's father and left Saul to pay for the crime. But a shadow from the urban waste breaks into his prison cell and leads him to freedom, a shadow called King Rat. In the nightland behind London's facade, in sewers and slums and rotting dead spaces, Saul must learn his true nature. So this one sounds exciting. I also love that it's set in London. If you hadn't guessed, Mieville is a British author. Next up, we've got Looking for Jake and Other Stories. So this is a short story collection. Step into a London ravaged by unearthly creatures at once utterly alien and chillingly familiar. In China Mieville's award-winning novel The Tane, we learn the reason for the invaders' terrible revenge. In addition, this superb collection contains 13 short stories of visionary cityscapes and urban paranoia, ghosts, monsters and impossible diseases. So there's that one. This one's looking a little bit worse for wear. In fact, I think this one's got a dedication in the front as well. Someone was given this by their parents in 2015, so Holly clearly didn't want to keep hold of it. So there we go. Next up we've got The City in the City. I think this is one of his quite famous novels, described as an existential thriller taken to dazzling, metaphysical and artistic heights. When the body of a murdered woman is found in the extraordinary decaying city of Beetle, somewhere at the edge of Europe, it looks like a routine case for Inspector Theodore Bourlou of the Extreme Crime Squad. But as he probes, the evidence begins to point to conspiracies far stranger and more deadly than anything he could have imagined. So another sort of detective story. Petito Street Station was not really a detective story, but it seems like that might be a kind of theme to a couple of these novels. Then we've got Kraken. It's a good cover on this one. Deep in the research wing of the Natural History Museum is a prized specimen, something that comes along much less often than once in a lifetime, a perfectly preserved giant squid. But what does it mean when the creature suddenly and impossibly disappears? For curator Billy Harrow, it's the start of a headlong pitch into a London of warring cults, surreal magic, apostates and assassins. It might just be that the creature he's been preserving is more than a biological rarity. There are those who are sure it's a god that someone is hoping will end the world. Next, Embassy Town. Embassy Town, a city of contradictions on the outskirts of the universe. Avis is an immerser, a traveller on the Ima, the sea of space and time below the everyday, now returned to her birth planet. Here on Arieka, humans are not the only intelligent life, and Avis has a rare bond with the natives, the enigmatic hosts who cannot lie. So, one, I presume, that's sort of set in space. Then we've obviously got Petito Street Station. This is, I think, the biggest, fattest novel. This is about a city called New Crobuzon. Basically, something terrible is released upon the city, a terrible being or selection of beings, and the fate of millions lies with a clutch of renegades and outcasts on the run from lawmakers and crime lords alike. Yes, we'll talk about this one more in an upcoming video. And then I think there are two more books set in that world, which is these two. So we've got The Scar and we've got Iron Council. I can't remember, The Scar is second. This one I think is a pirate-based book, which I don't remember the last time I read one, but I feel like excited for this. So it says, a human cargo bound for servitude and exile, a pirate city hauled across the ocean, a hidden miracle about to be revealed. This is the story of a prisoner's journey, the search for the island of a forgotten people, for the most astonishing beast in the seas, and ultimately for a fabled place, a massive wound in reality, a source of unthinkable power and danger, The Scar. This one's pretty hefty as well. And then we've got Iron Council, which I think is set back in New Crobuzon. It is a time of revolts and revolutions, conflict and intrigue. New Crobuzon is being ripped apart from without and within. War from the shadowy city-state of Tesh and rioting on the streets at home are pushing the teeming metropolis to the brink. In the midst of this turmoil, a mysterious masked figure spurs strange rebellion, while treachery and violence incubate in unexpected places. I think this is our last one. It's Unlondon. I think a couple of you talked about this one as well. Stumbling through a secret entrance, Xana and Deba enter the strange wonderland of Unlondon. Here, all the lost and broken things of London end up, and some of its people too. The two girls have arrived at a dangerous time. Unlondon is a world where words are alive, where a jungle lurks behind the door of an ordinary house, where carnivorous giraffes stalk the streets and a sinister cloud called smog is bent on destruction. So that is all of them. It's possible there are a couple on the way, but this is what they look like all together. So they will look real nice on my shelves, and I'm very excited to read them. Right, now for some books that I've read, some of which I've reviewed, some of which I haven't reviewed yet, on my Kindle or listened to on Audible. So first up we've got Miss Benson's Beetle. I haven't talked about this one yet. I listened to this. It's by Rachel Joyce. It's quite a big copy. I don't know why, it's taller than your average book, but I love the cover of this one. There are a few covers floating around, but I made sure I got this cover because it's so nice. That's that one. I got The Mermaid of Black Conch. Now I know I said that I didn't really like this book, but I do love the cover of it. I just think it's a really good cover. So I did get it for my shelves. So that is The Mermaid of Black Conch. We've got My Name Is Why, which I really enjoyed listening to a few months ago. Can't remember quite when now. I think it was last year actually, wasn't it? It's nice to have the copy actually because it's got all of the documents in it and some pictures and bits and bobs. So this is by Lem Sissay. I've got Mary Toft or The Rabbit Queen by Dexter Palmer, which I read on my Kindle. I haven't reviewed this one yet, but spoiler, I didn't love it. But again, I kind of like the cover of it, so I did buy a copy. We've got Ghost Wall by Sarah Moss. This one I listened to. We've got Bolu Babalola's Love and Colour, which was just recently released in paperback. And I actually think I like the colourway of the paperback more. It looks really nice. We've got Hood Feminism by Mickey Kendall. I listened to this one as well last year. And we've got Natives by Akala, which I really liked, and I listened to that last year as well. If you think I'm crazy for buying physical copies of books that I listen to or read on my Kindle, you're just going to have to get used to it. I'm a bit of a hoarder, I'm a bit like that. I just like to see them visually on my shelves. Occasionally a book will come along which I won't buy because I just don't feel the urge, but for those ones I felt the urge to buy them, so I did. I got a copy of Jeff Vandermeer's newest book, which is Hummingbird Solander. This is a thriller, I think. It's an eco-thriller. Security consultant and former wrestler Jane Smith receives an envelope with a key to a storage unit that holds a taxidermied hummingbird and clues leading her to a taxidermied salamander. Sylvina, the dead woman who left the note, was a reputed eco-terrorist and the daughter of an Argentine industrialist. Taking the hummingbird from the storage unit, Jane sets in motion a series of events that quickly spin beyond her control. Excited for this. Heard good things about it. Love me a little bit of Vandermeer, as we know. And continuing my strange Vandermeer obsession, I bought a few of his anthologies. He puts these together with his wife, Anne Vandermeer. I already have one on my shelves, which is the Big Book of Modern Fantasy. That's back there. So I picked up the other ones because I just think they'll all look nice together, and also it will be nice to have like a huge range of fantasy and sci-fi stories on my shelves that I can dip into. So I got the Big Book of Classic Fantasy. First of all, how fun are these? Like, they're so floppy. This has all sorts in it, and I think they tend to go in chronological order. So it starts with Bettina von Arnim. Another thing I like about these, because I've started reading one of them on my Kindle, is they give you a little like description of the author at the beginning of each story. So yeah, Bettina von Arnim was a German writer, and she was born in 1785. So that's where this one starts, and it goes all the way up to Tolkien, I think it looks like. So yes, Big Book of Classic Fantasy. Then I also got The Weird. This one I am reading on my Kindle because it's currently on Kindle Unlimited, so I can read it for free and still also have the physical copy. So yes, I've read a fair few of these, and it looks like it's got an After Weird or Afterward by China Mieville, this one. So yeah, this has got loads of stories in. 1908 it starts and it goes all the way up to 2010. Lots to be excited for in there. I'm going to read that one on my Kindle, read a few stories here and there. Then we've got the Big Book of Science Fiction. Pretty self-explanatory, Big Book of Science Fiction. Excited for this as well. Do you know, also, I feel like they're really good places to find new authors that maybe I haven't heard of and aren't super popular to read more from. And I've already discovered a few from the Big Weird Anthology. And then a couple of their other anthologies. We've got The Time Traveller's Almanac, which is obviously a selection of time travelling stories, which I'm excited for. And then finally we've got Sisters of the Revolution, which is a feminist speculative fiction anthology. So we'll see how I get on with that one as well. They've done a few others which I think I decided not to get. They've done one on pirates which wasn't as well reviewed, so I decided not to get that one. A couple of them are out of print as well. Those are the ones I decided to get, and I think, guys, that is everything. So yeah, like I said, kind of a random selection of books, but just books that I'd had on my mind. I wanted to get more of the anthologies because I already have one and I wanted to sort of complete the collection. I am turning into that person. Wanted to get the new Vandermeer. really like Petito Street Station, as you can see, because I decided to get the full selection of works and wanted to pick up a few of the books I've read in physical copies. So that is my birthday book haul. Not super varied this year. Hope you all enjoyed this video, and I will see you again very soon. Bye!